Hi everyone. I thought I would do an eBay sales roundup video. So just to set a bit of background, because I don't think I've really talked about it much. So I'm Josh. I've been sort of buying and selling from car boots probably since I was about 11 or 12, to be honest. In fact, I used to probably do better back then than I did now because eBay, people weren't quite as aware of what things were worth. But I buy and sell sort of on the sideline, so I've got a full-time job. I'm trying to clear my backlog of stuff this year because I haven't really sold anything for the past couple of years. So in the past couple of weeks, I've basically from nothing been sort of building up an eBay shop again. I've got up to actually just past the 200 item milestone, which is great for me because I don't normally stick to stuff. So because it's only been a couple of weeks gone, things are sort of just starting to sell. But I'm sourcing a lot of stuff as well at the same time as trying to clear the backlog. That is just a little intro, and then I will show you what I've sold. Okay, so firstly, we've got this Carlson clock. I picked this up for £3. It was brand new, so it had never been used. It was actually really funky. I almost kept this for myself, to be honest. It's essentially, I think it's 13 sort of wooden cubes, and you can put them up in the wall any way you like. And just make your own style clock. I think some Carlson clocks are quite sought after, others aren't. I know I've sold one in the past, I think for 99p, so they're definitely not all good, but something like this is probably worth being on the lookout for. So that was £3 into 35, which I was quite pleased with. So from the same charity shop, I got the Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix audio cassettes. Now here, I think one thing to be sort of clear on is that the box, I think, is what makes up quite a bit of the value. You don't seem to get anywhere near as much if you just have the sort of cassettes in their own sort of individual plastic packaging. So this was £2 into 22.50, which was quite good. But yeah, if you've just sort of faced with them on their own, they've got to be, I think, quite cheap to be worth it because they don't seem to go for as much without that, which is understandable. So this is great. I've had this one for quite a long time, just in the loft. It's such a cool toy. So I think I actually paid quite a bit for this. I think it was £5, and I did take an offer. I think it was 22. So I didn't make that much on it, but what a cool toy. So essentially you put the batteries in and this horrible cockroach thing runs around, and then you hit it with the hammer and it makes this absolutely horrible noise. There's no sort of objective or anything like that. You just need to whack him and he goes ah! And then he starts running again. I just thought that was so cool. I mean, I love like retro toys. Even if they don't make too much money on them, I think it's great just to have had it and sort of seen about it. But I did make a little bit of money on it, so that was all right. Bread and butter stuff. This was £1 and it sold within an hour for £23. Perfect. Not really much more to say on that. I think it's the... So I think all of the Battle for Middle-earth 2 PC are worth quite a bit. If you get the one with the... I can't remember if it's the Witch King or the Lich... I think it's the Lich King. I think that's worth about 50 or close to that. But that's one PC game that's always worth looking out for. And I think charity shops never tend to look at the values of PC games, at least as far as I know. I know quite a few that they price up the games individually, which is annoying. But the PC games are always like £1 because you just don't assume that, I think, PC games are actually worth that much. So this is something to always look out for. Another really quick, easy flip, 50p at a car boot, which I was quite surprised with. It was lumped in with a load of DVDs, and I was thinking that they were going to, say it was like a £5, but no, that was 50p, nice and easy. So yeah, I was a bit disappointed with this. So I bought this from a car boot for £4. Some older bits were £4. And then when I got it back, I didn't actually realise quite how bad the condition was. I think most of these Tonka Jeeps had sort of stickers on them, which which this doesn't, if I can find the arrow. But it was quite battered. I mean, there was a crack there, lots of sort of wear on the paintwork. And then I think there was a few other bits sort of wrong with it. So yeah, it didn't really make too much money. I mean, I probably could have put it on for a bit more because it did sell quite quickly, but they were not really very valuable from what I can see. I did look it up, but I sort of assumed that I would be able to get a little bit more for it because it was Tonka. But the feedback was quite nice, though, because the guy said he was going to restore it for his grandson. So at least it has actually gone to a good home, and it will look a bit nicer than that. So this, this was £2. It hadn't been used. Because I do free postage on everything, just to make it easier, really, for me. It does tend to give you an inflated sense of what your items are worth. I think. Oh, sorry, what you actually get for them. Because obviously this was £2. Then I paid, what was it? I think £6 to send it because it was annoyingly. I think it was about 100 grams over the 2 kilo threshold. So it was quite a fair bit of weight to it. So I made a bit of money. Not as much as if it had weighed 100 grams less, which is a bit of a pain. But I think, so I think it was A3. I mean, if it was A4, I wouldn't have looked at it. But I thought, have a little look. I think there's, you can get more sort of industrial, or not industrial laminators, but more heavy duty laminators that actually seem to sell for a lot of money. But this seems to be the budget fellows range. But I'd pick them up again if they were boxed, because I don't think it had been used. I listed it as used because you can't tell, but I mean, it still had, when I took it out, it had the sort of poly inserts, the plug protector was on, it was in its plastic wrap. So it was, it didn't have any wear to it or anything. Oh my god. So I went to an auction about a few months ago and I bought a job lot of ordnance survey maps for, I think, £5 plus the sort of 10% commission. I got, I think it was 20 something of those. I've still got the other set for sale. And then there was a load of random maps sort of mixed in, and I sort of got them home, and you had the thing of, what have I actually just bought? So I know these aren't like a massive money maker, but I put all the random maps on auction. I think I got £15 for those. So essentially, these haven't cost me anything in that sense. I've made the money already. And I was really disappointed because actually, I think I said it in the description, they smell musty, there's holes in them, they're warped, they've obviously been in some damp garage or something like that. But someone still bought them, so got £20, including postage for them. I think for me, I always try and undersell my items because I would much rather not have to deal with the hassle of someone complaining about something that I've missed. I'd rather just be completely honest and say they're worn, they smell horrible. It just, at least they know what they're getting, and you're portraying an accurate representation of what you're selling. I was quite pleased with that. This was quite interesting. This was another thing I got home and I thought, crap. Because I obviously saw it was Travel Scrabble, so I bought it because any sort of pocket or Travel Scrabble seems to sell quite well. And then I noticed this was a German one, and I thought, I'll stick it on anyway, sort of forgetting that the GSP exists, and it went quite quickly actually to Germany. That's something to look out for. I think any pocket or Travel Scrabble, people don't really tend to lose the letters for Scrabble, do they? I think they're always, it's not like something with tiny bits that's easy to lose, so they're generally complete, but worth checking anyway. So I was quite pleased with that. That was £1.50. This was cute, not a big earner, but it was, oh god, I love it. I was buying something at a charity shop and I saw this poking out of the box of knitting patterns, which I never normally look at, and I just thought, yes, that must be worth at least a little bit. It cost me 50p. It went as a large letter because I put some cardboard around it to make sure it arrived fine. So that's sort of £5, which is fine. I just, those jumpers, I would kill for one of those. Yeah, so this was another good one. So I started looking at books more because I never really considered book sets. I mean, I wouldn't generally touch like individual books just because for me, I do prefer stuff to be sort of worth my while, in that I think individual books, you generally get quite low profit margins, unless you really know what you're looking for. But I don't tend to, I'm not a scanner, to be honest. I don't have the time or inclination to scan through hundreds of books to check what's worth it. I mean, to each their own. I completely get it for people that do, but it's not my cup of tea. I prefer random bits and pieces, to be honest. But I got this for £4, which is quite good. I mean, they were in generally good condition. I think one of them had a sort of tear on the page, but they went fairly quickly. Another thing that was quite heavy and expensive to post, but still a good sale. So I was pleased with that. Yeah, so this was something from my backlog. I had no idea what to list this for, to be honest, because, I mean, Baco is sort of valuable-ish, but it's very valuable if you know what you're selling. And to be honest, there are hundreds and hundreds of bits in here, down to sort of tiny, I don't know if I've got a picture of them. No, I don't think I do. Oh yeah, so there they are. I mean, there are tiny, tiny metal rods, and to sort through all those, I just thought, no, I mean, I've had this sitting in the loft for probably 2 years, and I just got sick of the sight of it, because the box didn't shut, so every time I brought it down to list it or look at it, pieces would fall out, and I just thought, I'm just going to dump it on, show people what's on there, say no idea if it's complete. I did take an offer on it, so it went for 65, actually going to Australia through the GSP, but I am delighted with that. I mean, like I say, it was £8 a while ago, and it's out of my hair, which is the main thing. Yeah, so this was another thing. I think I tend to do quite well at car boots, picking up stuff that people wouldn't normally think was worth any money. So, I mean, because you get people looking for the retro games, the toys, all those sorts of things, which, to be honest, I go for as well. But when I go round again, you often see stuff that you would never normally look at. I mean, to be honest, to me, that could be something out of like a really cheapo catalogue, because you get like the coin, what do you call them, like the penny pusher machines and the popcorn makers, really similar sort of style branding, and they aren't worth anything. But yeah, this, I did take an offer. It's 35, but I paid £2 for it. Perfect. I mean, nice and easy, hassle-free sale. It's in a box, so it's easy to pack and ship. So that's something to look out for. Yeah, I mean, it's quite cool. I think, to be honest, to me, it's one of these things that you buy and then use once. So to get £35 for it, I was quite pleased. Oh, another Scrabble. So this is definitely one to look out for. I paid £4 for this. And it was complete, but this is the version you want of the deluxe Scrabble. It's got the wooden rotating board, so you can spin it around. It's got a nice sort of inlaid box, wooden tiles actually, which I didn't take a picture of, weirdly. But yeah, that was £4, and that went really quickly for 44. So yeah, I was delighted with that. I think we got a couple more bits. Yeah, so this was another auction buy, and to be honest, another thing that I thought I would never sell. I didn't actually have it up for very long, but I just, in the spur of the moment, I buy a lot of things on a whim, and they're not necessarily always the best idea. So I paid £5 for this lot of postcards, and to be honest, this was an even by my standards, this was an incredibly low effort listing. I didn't lay them out. I just took a couple of pictures. There's my finger in there, and they're not even the right way up. Yeah, actually, that's a terrible listing. But yeah, to be honest, I would have taken £20 for those, because I think they cost me £5, just to get rid of them. But no, I got the full asking price for them, which was good. Yeah, this was something I saw on Instagram, actually. I saw someone had bought and sold one of these. I wouldn't have looked at it otherwise. Although, to be honest, I might have done, because I tend to, any sealed game, automatically I will look up, just in case, because you generally can't go wrong with sealed stuff, and it is absolute heaven. Wrap it up, gone. You don't need to check for pieces, you don't need to take pictures of all the contents. Front and back of the box, absolutely perfect. That cost me £1.50 from a car boot, I think, and yeah, 25. And last but not least, probably the most random item So this, another thing, I think I was in one of those moods where I thought, I'm not leaving this charity shop with nothing. I'm going to buy something, and whether I make any money on it or not. So this was a pill organizer. So I think you set the time to remind you to take your medication, and yeah. No, it's not working, so I can't show you the back and instructions, which isn't really any great loss. This was £1.50, I think. There are other makes of this. So I think Tab Time is the brand. There's other makes of this that seem to, or models, sorry, that seem to actually go for quite a bit. This was one of the cheaper ones, but I think there are other Tab Time that sell for like £30 or £40, so they're worth looking out for. But yeah, no, I was absolutely gobsmacked when I sold that. I thought, no, this is going to be something that's going to sit around forever. But yeah, so that's a roundup of some. I haven't listed everything I've sold, but there's some of the sort of vaguely interesting bits, or bits that maybe you might not have considered looking out for. So yes, I hope that was interesting. I'll aim to do one of these sort of every couple of weeks. So if you like this video, please like and subscribe, and sort of any comments or questions in the comments. Cheers. Bye.